Okay, everyone, welcome to the Stay True team call. It is February 25th already, so we've got one extra day this year, right, to make Success Club 5 or 10, or one more day this month, extra day this month, in order to make Success Club. So take advantage of that. Make sure you get to Success Club. Make sure you're following up with people. And you saw my post in the team page today. I'm getting tons of rejections, but that tells me two things. Number one, I'm getting closer to a yes, right? Number two, I'm doing what I need to be doing right now and inviting. So don't be fazed by the word no. And you saw the one text, he flat out just said no. There was nothing after it. I was like,
I know, okay. Like, who was that? But it was a friend.
It was a friend, but at the same time, I finally did reply back and I said, okay, good talk. And he replied back and said, I'll call you later. So, but no, I encourage you guys to keep reaching out to people, have fun with it. I started laughing when that's all I got back from him. I was like, okay, then that's it for that. So, but I didn't take it personal. There's no reason to. I'm going to get him one of these days. I told him that one of these days he's going to come and he's going to need my help and I'm going to be there for him. So until then, I'll keep inviting and leaving it open to that. A couple things. I'm going to kind of cut a couple things out of the norm that we normally do. Normally we would go over the team volume points, things like that. Instead of going over those points, I want to talk to you guys real quick about what's been going on. There's been a lot of fraudulent activity going on with credit cards being billed and Beachbody then having to go back and credit those credit cards, or the companies rather, because of some fraudulent activity. Nothing that we as coaches can do about it. What I would encourage you to do is be proactive. If you see any returns of a negative anything in your team volume or your personal volume points, investigate it. Take a look at it. Send it into the coach relations. Get on a chat with them, email them, whatever you want to do, call them, and have them look into that, because that can affect your team volume or your PV, personal volume, and it can affect your rank status or active status. So it is important that we take a look at those. So if any of that's happened to you guys, if you've seen any number of chargebacks or some incredible amount like Dan Barry had, I think he started this month with like negative 600 points of volume. And that just, that can crush somebody. But Dan's strong. He came back, he rebounded, and he got above the negative 600. I forget what the number was, but
Dan.
302. He ended up with 302
nice.
points. So, so good job, Dan. But, so that's just an example, though. We need to be reporting these in because they will correct that and make sure that you don't go inactive. So that is my message on the team volume points for tonight. Just keep an eye on it and be proactive with it. Let's see. Our Sunday night, we're going to have the sneak peek on Sunday night. Sneak peek, or what the heck is Beachbody coaching, whatever you want to call it, just invite people to it. I am challenging each of you guys to invite 10 people to this event. I don't care who the 10 people are, but, example, I just was messaging a guy earlier today about joining the challenge group. He started getting back to me. I don't know if I have time to work out. I'm so frustrated right now with my job. I can't do this, and this. Right there, I'm going to invite him to the, Sunday night call or the Sunday night event. He said some key words in there. I'm frustrated with my job. So that's kind of a golden ticket to say, hey, would you like to hear about this? If he says yes, great. If he says no, fine. But I'll keep that in the back of my mind, keep it on my notes to follow up with them. So invite people, get at least 10 people invited to it. And that doesn't mean I mean personally messaging 10 people. I don't want you to just share the post or anything like that. You can share it, that's fine. But then I want you to take action. If anybody likes it, reach out to them, personally message them, make sure that you're staying on top of it, just like you would if it was a challenge group invite. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please let us know, let me know, and I can definitely help you figure that out, or, if you have questions about who to invite. Okay, so I'm going to get to the point here of tonight's call. We have a very special guest with us tonight, and I'm going to unmute Courtney now, and I'm going to unmute Angela. And Courtney, why don't you tell us who Angela is?
I'm so excited to introduce Angela to you guys. About 8 months ago, my coach and I were talking about getting me a mentor and just some ideas of how to do that. So I went to Carl Deichler's Facebook page and I just started scrolling through his news feed because I know he recognizes people every now and then. And I found Angela because he recognized her because she was in the top 10 of the company to have the most Success Club points in 1 month. She had 111. So I was like, well, she has to know what she's doing if she's doing that. So I found her on Facebook and messaged her, and we started talking, and we've developed an awesome relationship, and she shares some incredible stuff with me. She does not hold anything back, which I love. She goes full force for it. So she motivates me all the time. And I'll give you guys an example. I told her a goal I set for myself this month, and I told her like a week and a half ago, hey, I hit my goal. And she goes, good, what's your next goal for the rest of the month? So like she's always pushing me, which I always appreciate because that's kind of how I get stuff done, is by being pushed. So with that, I will turn it over to Angela, and she will share some of her awesome success with us.
Thank you, Courtney. You're so sweet. So I think I have the most Southern accent on this call, it appears. So hopefully it's not like nails on a chalkboard to y'all, but I'm in Oxford, Mississippi. I am where University of Ole Miss, University of Mississippi, Ole Miss Rebels, and we're huge Ole Miss fans. So that's why I say that. So just to kind of tell you where I am, I'm about an hour south of Memphis, Tennessee. And I've been coaching I had my year anniversary in January, so not very long, but I was doing challenge groups for about a year before I decided to become a coach. So my coach always bothered me and said, not bothered me, but always said, you need to coach. And I said, I don't have time. I don't have time. And I said that for a year. And finally, after sending my coach my bazillionth referral, I was like, what am I doing? It's time to just take ownership and do this. And what's the worst that could happen? So here we are today. And I love this business, and it works really well for me, and it can work really well for anybody. I truly believe that. So what I thought I would do is just share some things with you that are best practices. And I'm pretty sure Courtney sent y'all a outline. I just kind of wanted you to know what I'd be talking about. So the two main things I wanted to say tonight have to do with thinking outside the box and hitting Success Club. So, as we go on this journey, I think that everyone has an idea of, okay, well, I do think out of the box, and, I do my best at Success Club. And, all these things come up every day in our daily activities and our power hours and all of that. But until you can really hone in on what you are good at, I don't see how people can keep progressing month after month, year after year, unless you really hone in on what you're good at and who's watching you. So when my first point in when thinking outside of the box is think about what interests you as a person. So you have heard don't appeal to the masses. We've all heard that. And, big deal if you lose one customer because you're targeting a certain group of people. That's not what we're here for. You want to speak to who follows you that you have common interest in. So for me, I'm 38 years old. I'm from the South. I'm a mom. I'm a stepmom. I love to work out. I love the beach, and I love Ole Miss. So that's who I target. And, if you can sit down and just bullet point out your avatar and who is just like you, then you can start thinking of, okay, what are some good challenge group ideas that will target those people? For me, if I'm doing a free challenge group, I could do crock pot meals till I'm blue in the face and like 2 people want to do it. Like it's a dead it's a dead deal. Like no one does those anymore in my area, at least. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do next? So I put a few things on my outline that I'll go over real quick. Some of you may already be familiar with it. Some of you may not. So excuse me if I'm going over something you know about. But try and think of new ideas for things that your customers will be interested in and things that your coaches will be interested in, because you can do them at the same time. And I love a double whammy because life is busy. For instance, the first thing we did was recently was the online Beachbody party. And Courtney, does your team know about this because you did it? Okay. So we thought, okay, free challenge group. Let's blast everything we think is important that's Beachbody. And we did it one day a week. So you had, first day was about Shakeology. Next day is about Fixate. 3-day refresh. You know, you pick different things that you think would be interesting to your market. But what I loved about that free group was I assigned my coaches things to do each day and I let them run with it. I said, my only request is you make a video every day and you post it. I don't care what you do. You be crazy, you be specific, whatever you want to do. And so all of my coaches were terrified. They were like, I don't want to do videos. And I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm making you get out of your comfort zone. If you want to be in this group with me and you want to get some new customers, this is the deal. So everyone hoed and hummed and they did it. Well, lo and behold, my team is a video team now. Ever since we did that, I see them posting videos on their Facebook all the time. They're doing it in their challenge groups. It really helped them get out of their comfort zone. And I am all about doing that. You know, why not? You got one life. Just go for it. So anyway, so the 7-day Beachbody party was really good for me as a leader, good for my coaches. I won't go too in depth because Courtney, I know you already kind of touched on that with your team, but that's a great free group to do. I'm running a 7-day Shakeology sampler group in 2 weeks that I wanted to share with y'all. Since the 7-day sampler is brand new, we thought, hey, why not run this group? So the prerequisite to be in the group is you buy the 7-day Shako sampler. But what we're doing is me and 4 other coaches, we are providing, we're each going to present a meal plan that we have done on our own with an attached grocery list. It'll have nothing to do with the fix. You know, we don't want to give everything away, but we're going to let them choose from 5 meal plans. And then they'll be eating healthy all week. We'll have a flavor a day, and we'll do live Shakeology blendings, and we'll give them the calendar of 30 recipes per flavor. We'll post a daily workout, just something on YouTube that's hopefully Beachbody related. So, you know, just try and think out of the box for stuff like that. It's not earth-shattering, but, you know, it's something new. Anytime there's a new product out, see what you can do that your customers might like. In my challenge groups, I like to have a coach for the day. It's a great way to have your star challengers step up, and they're flattered when you ask. So say, listen, tomorrow, you can kind of lie. Say, I got a lot going on. I'd love it if you run the group tomorrow. Here's an idea for your morning post, and, you know, check in with me if you need anything. Otherwise, you got it. And I've done that quite a few times. And honestly, I've done it a lot when I have like a really busy day coming up and I know I can't pay attention to my group as much as I'd like. And I can't tell you how many coaches I've signed up that I gave that responsibility to. So, you know, try and do that if you have someone that stands out to you. It's a great opportunity. Another fun outside the box kind of is we are doing a group PD book club. So my coaches, I bought them all the book, You Are a Badass. I'm not saying you have to buy all of your coaches' books, but it was a nice touch because I wanted to make sure they had it. And we're all reading it together for the month of February. And in my coach page, you know, I'm not micromanaging them, but when you see something you like and that speaks to you, you post it in the group and we talk about it. And it's been really cool to watch some of my coaches post about things that are deep to them and it really helps me learn a little bit more about them. So first of all, they appreciate the book, but second of all, they are getting out of their comfort zone by talking about things that maybe they fear, things that they keep hidden. So I've really enjoyed that. And I will be honest, I'm not very good at personal development. I'm such a busybody that making me read a book is so hard. But the reason I did it as a group is because I needed to be held accountable, because I'm really bad at it. So it has helped me read my personal development, which is something I need badly. And then one other idea, with this new 22-minute hardcore coming out, anytime there's a new program coming out, hold a sneak peek for it. It's really hard for people to just want to buy a brand new program just because it launched. Beachbody says it's ready. That doesn't mean that your customers are ready. So, all of my coaches, they're going to buy it. Most of them, the day it comes out, we're going to try it. And then a few weeks later, hold a sneak peek. Let people come in for free. Show them, a little bit about the program, the details, and ease their, any issues they may have with it. So, just try and keep your challenge group and free group, your coaching ideas, all of that, keep it changing, and remember that you want to talk to people that are just like you, and make challenge groups that are what people are looking for from you. I think that's such a key in this business, because if I'm going to do a group that's, let's say, I don't know, a program that I would never do, people are going to be like, all right, I'm not going to buy that from Angela or be in her group because I don't relate to that. So always be speaking to who's watching. So I put in my next step, crucial steps for these new groups. If you're doing them with your coaches, delegate them according to skill set. So if someone's really good at cooking, I am not. So I always grab a coach that can do all the posts about the clean eating recipes they try. Other coaches that are really good at making videos, assign that to them. Let them shine in whatever they're good at. And when you're doing your free groups, make sure you're having them sign up with you as their free coach. That's a big one. And another huge thing, and like Glenn was saying, you've got to invite to your groups in a personal message. We all want 100 people to sign up from a post we put on our wall. I mean, that would just be amazing. But if you can word your invite to make them feel special, and that it's an exclusive thing you're offering to them, and create that value, that is one of the hugest ways to get someone interested in saying yes. So for instance, for the daily or for the online Beachbody party that we did, I went back through my old challenge group lists, and I would send a message to 15 people that were in the same challenge group back in October or November or whatever. And I'd send it to the whole group, and I'd say, hey, y'all were all in the same group together back in October when we did the fix. You had a great energy as a group, and I'm doing something new, and I list all the details. Who's in? I'd love to have you. And all it took was that first person to say I'm in, and then the rest were like, I'm in, I guess. Okay. You had people happy and not happy. But then that got them in. And so you had these new challengers that were in this free group that already had this camaraderie. And if you have camaraderie, they're going to post and they're going to comment, and the vibe is going to be great, because I think we've all been parts of free groups that have dead vibes that are the worst, that you can't wait to end. So we don't want that to happen. So daily prizes are a must for me. I think the investment of a couple packs of Shake-O is well worth it, and people go crazy over that stuff. So in your free groups or in your paid challenge groups, whatever it is, do a quick contest. I find that if you drag it out too long, people lose interest. So if you're going to say, hey, for the next 21 days, whoever posts the most wins, that they're going to be like, yeah, whatever. So maybe say for the next 2 days, whoever posts the most meals that they've eaten, I'm going to do a drawing for a free Shaco packet or whatever you want to do. And one thing I did yesterday and the day before in 2 of my groups was I said, I took a video at 5 a.m. I woke up, I got out of bed, I went straight in the laundry room and closed the door so my kids wouldn't hear me. And I looked like hell and I said, okay, today's challenge, I want to see videos of y'all. I haven't seen your faces and heard you talking, and nobody knows anybody. And I don't want to just read your words for 3 weeks. So if you send me a video, post it on here. I don't care if it's 3 seconds or 10 minutes, you'll get in a drawing for a free Shaco. I can't wait to see them. And y'all, it was like the heavens opened. Everyone's posting videos, and some people were like, oh, I hate this. I hate videos, but I'll do it for Shakeology. And then some people are like, hey, and anyway, at the end of the day, we had like this amazing closer knit community. I mean, I had the biggest warm fuzzies all day because all my people really knew each other and heard accents. We had people from Chicago and Tennessee and whatever, and it just brought such a good vibe. So at the end of the day, I think it's all about creating that vibe and that camaraderie, however you want to do it. Whatever box you have to think outside of, just do it. And my last part about that is videos. Do videos in your groups. Have your coaches do videos. Have your challengers do videos. I really think that's where Facebook and social media is at now. You know, your words only do so much. Your face does way more. So try and get in the habit of doing that. And the other thing about posting I wanted to mention, know your best time of day to post. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but I could post something at 4 o'clock and I wouldn't get a single like on it. 4 o'clock's my dead time. It's not even worth it. So make sure when you're doing your invites and you're posting for free groups and challenge groups, you know when your high traffic time is. Mine is 8 a.m., noon, and between 7:30 and 9:30. That's mine, and yours could be different. So anyway, I know I went through that fast, but I don't like to drag on and on. So before I go into Success Club, does anyone have any questions or want any clarification? Because I know I did that fast.
If you guys do, just raise your hand or let us know and we'll unmute you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to keep going then. So the second part of this call, the longer part, is about hitting Success Club. This is my fave thing at Beachbody. And I say that because when I signed up, like when we sign up, we don't know what we're doing. We don't understand this crazy numbers game and active and volume, and it just kind of rocks your world. So as a new coach, just kind of grasping that Success Club idea and concept is what I did. And I was like, okay, so I get 2 points for that. Got it. Oh, I just got another 2 points. Got it. So I pretty much trained myself to only learn about Success Club. Now, that kind of hurt me later on because as a coach, I should have known way more about things sooner. But you know what? It all worked out in the end. So my point is, my new coaches, when they come on, that is all I stress. I simplify it. Just hit Success Club and the rest will fall into place. We can talk about it later. But for now, hit Success Club. Because you know when they hit Success Club, their volume's going to be where they want it. And it'll keep climbing and all the other things fall into place. Commissions, all of that. So anyway, I've got a little bit of what I think is my secret sauce with Success Club. So I'm gonna talk to y'all about a little of that. So the first thing that's my secret sauce is you've got to work hard. I don't sit back and they just come to me. I have to get out there and get it. But that's what I want to do, and that's what drives me is Success Club points. honestly, nothing else drives me. Yes, money drives me, but I'm silly with these Success Club points. For some reason, that is just what works for me. So if you can create that vibe again with your tribe, your coaches, that Success Club is where it is at, then you're on the right track.
I think we just got the quote of the call here. Silly with Success Club points. That is so Southern. I love it.
Oh, I could say some really awful Southern things that you would want to plug your ears, but
yeah. Well, my grandma was from Mississippi, so.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No one's from Mississippi.
Yeah. But
Well,
okay.
my grandma's from Michigan, so is that close to y'all, right?
Somewhat, yeah. We don't talk about that state though here in Ohio. So.
Oh,
the Buckeyes and.
got it.
All right, I'll let you keep going. Sorry.
Okay. The second part of my secret sauce is I never shut up about it. And I don't mean be salesy. I don't mean be annoying. What I mean is I live and breathe it. For instance, I'm out to eat with somebody. I'm like, oh, that's one of our favorite meals on the 21-Day Fix. My challengers love that, and they're like, oh, what else do they love? Or, you just get the conversation rolling. So if you live it and breathe it, and even if it's not 21-Day Fix, I say that the most because that's what the bulk of my customers are doing that program. But just never shut up about it in your own way. The third thing is to own it. And that kind of goes with the one before. But I think if you own anything in your life, you are credible and people want to listen to you. So you just have to own what you do and be confident with it. And that's my next point. The last one is to have confidence. And if you lack it, then that's where the personal development starts. That's where it chimes in. I was raised to have confidence. I am lucky in that avenue of my life. But I don't have every single one of my coaches. They're not all 100% confident, just like anyone in the world. So I have to learn how to teach that. And, I think people hop on board with what they see. And if you can help them with that personal development to get that confidence, that's so key. Okay, so that was my secret sauce. Now we go into daily activities. So this is the bulk of the call. This is what I do to get Success Club points. The first one, have amazing challenge groups. I think this is a no-brainer, but what I have learned is not everybody runs challenge groups. I mean, our team that's what it's all about. That's all we do. And I know y'all are probably very challenge group focused as well, but there's so many coaches out there that just don't run challenge groups because they don't have an upline or they don't know better, or they sell someone a product and then that's it. So when you get these people in your grasp in this challenge group, that is your bread and your butter. So you can't make your group boring and you can't not put extra effort into it if you want to see it grow into what a lot of these other points are: referrals, coaches, etc. So you've got these people's attention 24/7 for as long as your group is. So that's when you roll with it. So what I do is do tons of videos, which I already told y'all. I do one to unbox the kit. I do one on the first day and tell them how proud I am of them, that they've come this far. In the middle, I'll make another video. The other things that I mentioned earlier, videos. Those are great to keep that personal feel in there. And I always ask my repeaters. I always ask people that finish the program to repeat with me because they're going to keep up their Shakeology and they're going to keep coming back. So I make sure when I schedule my challenge groups that when one ends, one's beginning, or at least within the next week. Because if you wait too long, they're out of there. And so always keep that in mind. So your challenge groups have got to be as awesome as you can make them. So, if you're struggling in that area, team up with another coach, go to your upline, whatever it is, but go get outside your comfort zone in your challenge groups. I love to be silly in mine. I think silly goes a long way. Goofy, whatever. The world's too serious as it is, so let's have fun in a challenge group. Don't be scared to be that way. I'll mention something that I did that's outside the box since we're on that topic. I'm doing a hammer and chisel challenge group right now, and we have like 1 week left. And I thought a 60-day challenge group would just be brutal because I've never run a whole one for that long. And it ended up being amazing. People were involved every single day, and it kind of blew me away. But what we did in the beginning is I would say, you have to go up in your weights. Don't just sit around and ho-hum and do your 5-pounders. You have to go up in your weights. So I made a video and I said, okay, for the next 2 days, I'm going to be posting a video if you went up in your weights. And if you tell me you did or show me you did, you get put in a drawing or whatever. So throughout the day, I would do a 3-second video and I'd be like, did you go up in your weights? And I'd post it. And I'd grab my kids and they'd all say in unison, did you go up in your weights? And so I did that for like 7 times and they were so sick of hearing about it, but they all were cracking up and we had a lot of fun with it. And everybody went up in their weights. And the moral of the story is, if your challengers get results, they will come back and they will refer people to you. So remember that. Make your challenge groups fun and different and hard so that they get results. It's okay to be a stern but fun challenge group runner. Okay, so after amazing challenge groups, the next one is be a product of the product. And I said, yeah, no, like for real. Really be a product of the product. You want to post with value. So this is a question I get from my coaches all the time is, I don't know what to post. I've done it all. I don't know what else to say. People are sick of hearing me. They're not listening to what I say. And so I tell them you have to talk about it and you have to post with value. And how do you do that? How do you post with value? So when we all do our launch post, announcing to the world that we're Beachbody coaches and we want people to come, usually in that post you're showing some vulnerabilities, telling your transformation story or whatever it is. And so what I see so many coaches do is it ends there. And they're like, well, I already said that in my launch post. I'm like, what, like 6 months ago? Like, you can always dig deeper into your vulnerabilities, your transformation, your life, whatever it is. So for instance, for me, my launch post when I started coaching was I wanted to lose 10 pounds before I went on a 10-year anniversary trip with my husband. That's what got my butt up and working out and in a challenge group. Well, now that was 2 years ago when I said that, and I don't really lead with that anymore. Like today I posted about how, all the mamas out there, remember when you were nice and thin in college or whatever, healthy, and then you had those babies and now you're a little bit not happy with your body, and then here we are now, fit and healthy. You watch this roller coaster of your life, and so many people related to that. They're like, yes, I'm sick of that. I want my health back. And so that vulnerability is what I show now. The moms, the young kids going through pregnancies, struggling to get their bodies back, not having time. So anyway, you're creating value by posting those things and showing people deep inside of you. And you don't have to give up everything personal about you, but pick what you think other people would relate to you. Pick that part of your story and share it. So, I just feel like if you take tidbits and write them down, I do that. I write down post ideas based on my vulnerabilities or based on my journey. And I go back and look at that when I'm dry for a post idea. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about that today. And, this is life. You're always going to be having new challenges and new things that pop up that you struggle with. So, write those down. I put them on my phone if I'm out and about and something pops in my head. I swear I get the best ideas when I'm in the shower and I don't have my phone, and then I forget it when I get out. But my point is to always show that vulnerable side. Okay. The next one, contact list. I'm a psycho contact list person. I use a Google document, and some people are pen and paper people. Some people, want to write it down in paragraphs, checklists, whatever. But I use an Excel or a Google spreadsheet. And it has every customer listed that I've ever talked to in my coaching career. And when I'm having a dry moment and I feel like no one's, coming out of the woodwork, I will go back to February of last year and I will be like, hey, I know you were interested a year ago. And I had that happen to me yesterday. Someone that I hadn't talked to since February 2015 sent me a message that said, I'm ready. And I was like, who are you? And then I flipped back through my list and I was like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I wrote that, or I plugged that into my spreadsheet. So I think organization is so key. It will help you so much. So just make sure you have some kind of contact list, whatever it is that works for you. My upline coach, she's a paper and pen person. That would drive me bananas, but it works for her. So if you keep yourself organized, it will help you tremendously. All right. The next point, turning every conversation into a challenge pack sale. So because you have already created such value in your post, everything you do has some sort of value to it. When people come to you, they already know there's value. So when they're coming to you, you've already got them in your hands. Now it's time to talk to them. So I think that this is when you own it, this very moment right now. You start owning that conversation. And, if they're saying, hey, I heard about the Shaco stuff, I don't know about it. That's your in. They're curious. So let's talk. Find out what drives them or what do they have coming up, a wedding, whatever it is. They're at the doctor and their blood pressure's high or their cholesterol's high or whatever. Just start talking. Don't start word vomiting about pricing and program details and length of programs. Of course, if they ask, but even when people ask me price right away, I'll be like, I put the brakes on. I'm like, so what do you do? What job are you in? Do you work out right now? How are your eating habits? Get the conversation going, and you can always loop it back around to what is important to them. And to me, when you own it and you say, this is what I have to offer you, is this challenge pack that is the full deal. I rarely get objections because one, I already created value. Two, I'm owning this conversation because I am giving them my complete self. If they get this challenge pack, I'm yours. I will message you 24/7. I will help you. I will cry with you. But I think coaches sell themselves short so much, and they don't totally own what they're about to give somebody, that people see that immediately. They're like, this girl means business. I really think she's going to help me because I need someone to hold me accountable. So I think once you figure out how to speak to people and you get your flow, then those conversations almost always turn into challenge packs.
So Angela, I'm going to ask a quick question here because earlier I heard you mentioned something about a paid challenge group, or you said paid challenge group, and I don't know if you meant people pay to get in, but do you think that as coaches, our mentality of the challenge group, because we offer that as a free service, that we as coaches don't put enough value on that, and that doesn't transfer to the customer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll get more into part of that in a minute, but I feel like, and I'm sure y'all are the same way too, when someone's your challenger, you give them your all. That's what we're here for. and it doesn't matter if you don't have full time to work the business, even if you only have a few hours a day. But, I think everyone on this call would say, I would stay up late to have this conversation with someone who needs me, and I think we sell ourselves short with what we can offer and what we can do for people. And if you create that value and let them know what is up immediately, like, no, really, I'm going to help you. We're going to get there.
Now, have you ever put a price tag on a challenge group and say you get that complimentary? So, for example, Beth and I were talking earlier today about if you have a challenger or you have a customer potential who goes to Amazon, and, you tell them, listen, the ideal would be that they'd buy a challenge pack from you. But if they say, well, I'm going to go look on Amazon, I told Beth, I said, well, I think we should, in an email or in communication, say, listen, the challenge group is a $97 value. Where did I get that number? I don't know. $97 value. And that is yours complimentary. We don't charge you for that. Have you ever done, or do you do anything like that?
Well, that darn Amazon. Yes, when I talk to, I've had that happen a few times, and I've only turned away somebody once that we've been talking for weeks, and she finally was like, I'm gonna buy it at Amazon, and I was like, okay, well, my time and this challenge pack is you get me in that bag of Shakeology, and I'm yours for life. So unfortunately, I don't come in Amazon's bag, but, and I don't want it to make it sound like I play hardball. I don't. I mean, when I first started coaching, I let anyone and their mother in my group because I just wanted people, and I wanted momentum, and I wanted referrals. So it's kind of two-sided. But now that I feel like I have some street cred, and y'all know what that is. I mean, if you've been running groups, you've got credibility, and so I kind of try and lead with that. And I'm like, you get me in this challenge pack. And so, I see what you're saying. And I think it's such a tricky conversation. It really is, because some people are more willing to listen than others. And some people just want the price tag and they don't care what you have to say.
Yeah.
So you got to tailor that conversation. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, I love how you word it. I mean, they get you, you know what I mean? Or they get me, or, so I think that's key. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's see. If anyone ever talks to me about Shakeology, like, that should always be a challenge pack sale automatically, as you know, when there's promos going on for challenge packs. So, if someone's coming to you with a $129 Shako sale, there's no reason you should not get a challenge pack out of that for $11 more, even if it's a program they tuck in their back pocket or give to their daughter or their mom for $11. So, I mean, I've had probably enough on one hand of single Shako orders that I haven't been able to upsell to the 140 to get that extra Success Club point. So I think that's huge. And don't be afraid to ask, because, usually I will say, okay, so it doesn't matter, you don't have to, but for $11 more, you can get this and have it to keep. And they're always like, oh, okay, send me some more money, or send me some more info. And then usually that's a no-brainer all the time. And then another way to get another Success Club point is to never let anybody buy a one-time Shakeology purchase. Never. Even if you make a note in your calendar to remind them on day 28 that the renewal's coming up and see what they want to do. Always tell them, hey, you're about to pay $12 shipping if you buy this one-time Shakeology pack. Otherwise, it's $2 shipping, and I'll help you remember to cancel it if you don't like it. And that's a no-brainer every time. I'm like, okay. So those are two good ways to get extra Success Club points. No-brainers. Okay, the next thing is referrals. So my business right now is got to be at least 50% referrals or more. So last year, my first year of coaching, I did as many challenge groups as I could and coached as many people as I could and made my challenge groups as fun as I could. And once that momentum got started, it all started coming back twofold. I mean, people send me referrals all the time. So my past challengers will hit me up after they see a post and like, oh, I got to get back in your group and I'm bringing my best friend. Can you please send her the info? And that conversation right there should automatically be a challenge pack sale to that friend. I mean, no brainer. Not you can just buy the base kit or whatever. You know, they want you, so here's what you offer them. This is how you get into my cool group. So, you know, make sure that wording is as flawless as can be, because that is a no-brainer too. I think that when you have repeaters in your groups, they get a little bored and unmotivated, but when they bring a friend with them, you know, that's a huge motivator, as you know, an accountability piece. So you can offer referral incentives. I know Courtney had asked me about this, but I don't offer referral incentives. I feel like I can barely keep track of my contact list in my challengers as it is, and keeping things fun. But I know a lot of my coaches do referral incentives. You know, thanking that person that brought you somebody, sending them a thank you note, $5 Starbucks gift card, Shakeology packet, whatever you want to do, because they're sending you business. So I think that's something to definitely keep in mind. Okay. The next way that I keep up with my Success Club points is I always try and have 1 point a day in the calendar month. So if it's January 10th and I only have 6 points, that bothers me because I should have 10 on January 10th. So it helps me when I'm not in front of my computer and I'm not in front of my COO and I'm not in front of my Success Club points. It's always this mental drive that I should have at least a point a day. So I just think that's kind of an easy trick to keep you mentally motivated. Because, hey, we can get busy and all of a sudden 3 days goes by and you're like, oh my God, I haven't worked my business in a few days and I better get on it. So that's a good way to keep it up in your head. Okay, and the last daily activity is inviting. So I already touched on that a little bit, but y'all, I'm not a huge inviter. I'm just going to be straight up and be honest. I do invite, don't get me wrong, but I invite way more to the coaching opportunity than I do to challenge groups. So I think that when you create such value in your posts and you really hone in on who is watching and your avatar, that, you know, that is why I haven't had to invite as much and I get a lot of referrals and all of that. But my coaches, when we do inviting calls and when I'm teaching them how to invite, it's always a red flag. You know, people say they invite, but they really aren't, because they don't know how to do it. They're scared to death. So I think that it's so important to teach people how to invite. And I know that may sound silly and stupid because, hey, who doesn't know how to invite someone to do something? But when it's involving fitness and health and money and all of those things, you know, it can be a little scary. So, for instance, I did something for the first time yesterday that I have ever done since I started coaching, and it was approach somebody that liked a post. I've never done that. That always seems slimy to me. But I always see coaches post about it, and they say, go message and invite these people that are liking your post to a challenge group. And I'm like, well, hey, I like people's posts all day long that I have no interest in learning anything else about. I'm just trying to bump their post or help them out or whatever. And so I assumed that people be the same way to me. So I reached out last night and I messaged a woman I've known for 12 years. She likes my post all the time, but I've watched her gain a lot of weight over the last year. So I was very nervous to ever approach her because I thought, you know, it's kind of uncomfortable. I thought she would think, oh, she thinks I'm fat or something. And so I made up my mind that I wasn't ever going to ask her. So I invited her last night. I said, hey, I see you always like my posts. Do you want to come work out with me? And that's all I said. I wasn't doing this word vomit. I wasn't making her feel uncomfortable about her weight gain or anything. And she said, oh my God, I just got back from the doctor. I'm clinically obese. I've got to do something. Will you please help me? And I was like, yes. And so between that beginning of that conversation, she bought a challenge pack 4 hours later. And then this morning, she sent me her best friend who wants to do it too. And she bought a challenge pack this morning. So right there, 2 challenge packs. And I get to help this person I've wanted to help forever. And it was a huge learning experience for me that, approaching people and inviting doesn't have to be weird and slimy. Just be yourself and be genuine. And at the end of the day, like you said, Glenn, if they say no, no big deal. But like that girl that told me no a year ago, that came back yesterday and bought a challenge pack, you never know. So those are my pointers for hitting Success Club. I have a few more things I wanted to run over before I wrap it up. But before I do, does anyone have any questions on my daily activities for hitting Success Club? I know I'm talking a mile a minute. Good? Oh, you have one? Is it Moppy?
Yes.
I got it right.
Yes. So about referrals, you talked a little bit about referrals. Mm-hmm. So how do you approach that? I know you mentioned some different groups that you have. So do you do it based on what they're doing with you, depending on the free group or the paid group? Or do you message them? Do you do it out in the whole group, like just one time? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, I guess what I was saying more along the lines of was people refer, my current challengers or past challengers refer their friends to me. Like they'll send us a group message on Facebook and they're like, Angela, this is my friend Judy and she wants to do your next 21-day fix with you. And I think I'm going to hop back in too and do it with her. And so then I will say, thank you for introducing Judy to me. Judy, I'm going to send you a separate message and we can talk about things and see where you are. So I like to cut out the referral from that point because I think that conversation is so important and it's personal. And, you never know what that relationship is between the two people. So then I have a conversation and decide what their goals are and their, what they need from me. And then I'll just plug them into my next challenge group. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but maybe I wasn't clear in how I was explaining it earlier.
No, you did. I just wondered too, if you have ever asked one of your current customers to refer you somebody.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So in the last probably 3 days of my challenge groups, I always do a post that says, hey, this is what's coming up. I've got a 21-day fix group starting next week. I've got hammer and chisel group starting in 2 weeks or whatever it is. Say, I would love to have you back. And I would love if you brought a friend with you to fix with you because it's so much more fun to fix with your friends and family, blah, blah, blah. So I do put something out there. As for a post on my newsfeed, I don't really say anything about referrals, but I definitely grab the attention of who's in my challenge group, asking for them to bring a friend next time. Good?
Thank you so much.
Good.
You're welcome.
Some good advice. And then, okay, so then my question about referrals, if somebody's referring people to you, when do you say, you know what, why don't you just become a coach, or do you? Because I always want to jump to that. I want to jump on that and try to get them to sign up as a coach,
Absolutely. That's a great question. Usually, so I talk to people about coaching all the time. So there's a good chance I've already talked to them about it because I just feel like this, if you're in a group, there's always opportunity for you to help somebody else because you've just helped yourself. And I think that that's a great question because sometimes I will turn right around and send them a message back and say, why don't you just sign this person up? Why don't you get the commission off this sale? Don't send them to me. You do it. And then, of course, if it's someone you're not comfortable with, you have to word it a little different. But absolutely, I'll turn it back around a million times. But, you know, if it's someone that I know, they like a lady the other day, I mean, she's 65, and I asked her if she wanted to do the discount before, because, you know, she wasn't interested in actually coaching, and she did not want to do the discount, and then sent me a referral. And so I did not turn back around and say, you need to do this again, because we just had a conversation about it. And so I just take it, you know, case by case. Okay. You want me to go on, finish up? Okay. Because it's late there. It's only 8:56 here. Okay, so my next pointer was to own it, but I already talked about owning it, but I wanted to give you a quick example. So we all know that to eat clean and to get the body we want, we have to pack our food everywhere we go, right? And you have to bring your little nerdy cooler around and your containers, and you just have to own it, right? So if you're at your job and you're sitting at your desk and everybody wants to go out for pizza for lunch, and you're like, no, I brought my lunch, they're gonna be all over you, right? They're gonna be like, oh, stupid diet, and why are you doing that? You're so dumb, you know, whatever. You know how people can be. But if you were like, I'm going to eat my sweet potato and chicken and broccoli, and I'm going to feel amazing at 3 o'clock when you feel like crap. You know, if you own a situation, I think that goes so far, even if it's about your lunch that you brought to work. So I think hitting Success Club and being successful in this business, if you can own everything and practice what you preach, I think that goes so far. I really, really do. Okay, my next pointer is to have a planner, and I'm sure you all have a planner. But what I do in my planner is I list my hot customers front and center. Yes, I have my spreadsheet. That's my contact list. Everyone's on there. But for my weekly planner sheet, I put, you know, 10, 15 people, whoever, that I think are going to buy a challenge pack this month, that I'm pretty sure, so that they are always front and center, because that spreadsheet's on another tab, and I'm going to be clicking back and forth, and I save that for documenting conversations and new people and whatnot. But I want to see right in front of me every day, oh, that person's supposed to buy it. Oh, tomorrow's the deadline, or she's not going to get it in time for my group. I got to follow up with her. So that just helps me a lot to have that front and center, or your hot customers, in your planner. And I have learned that running more challenge groups, maybe when they're not at an ideal time in my life, is necessary. And what I mean is, if you look at a month and you say, oh, I don't know when I can run a group this month. I got so much going on, I'll be out of town, this and that. You know, that's going to happen every month for the rest of your life. And what I had to realize is, if I could sacrifice just a little bit, I would get back so much more in return, meaning I have more available dates for people to join. They don't have to wait a month and a half, because let's face it, they may find another Beachbody coach that is running a group before you. So like, okay, for instance, I went on a cruise this summer, and I remember looking at my calendar, and I was like, oh, blocking that out. And then I was like, wait, none of my repeaters will have anywhere to go for a month, and I can't promote a new group for this huge amount of time. And I was like, fine, I'll just figure it out. So I bought Wi-Fi on the boat. All I did was assign that coach for a day from a challenger in my group, and they all took a day while I was gone, and I was there if they needed me. And it all worked out perfect. And it was in the summer when you're busy and you've got the most traffic. People need bathing suit bodies. Anyway, my point is that, you know, try and be open-minded to when you can run your challenge groups, because I think that's really important. Okay, I already talked about Shakeology on HD. Okay, so my number one tool is that your previously established value creates that need. So people, and I know I already talked about this, but I wanted this to kind of lead into the salesy thing that we all fear. You know, if people have a need and you create that value, they're going to come to you and they want help. So many coaches get off on the salesy conversations. And I feel like you have to be a good salesperson to be successful, but not be salesy. So if you're a good salesperson, any good salesperson, no matter what you do, they own it. They create value of what they give. They create a need that you need what they're selling, even if you're selling a service or your heart or your blood, sweat, and tears, whatever it is, you have to be a good salesman. And you have to own it. So all of these things tie together to me. And if you can really focus in on all of them, owning it, value, being a good salesperson, establishing a need, I think that is what really comes to a head, and everything starts to flow because you're focusing on all of those major points. And second to last, have a good elevator pitch. So someone asked me, okay, what's your 2-second elevator pitch? If someone wants to know what you do and how are you going to get their attention? So people do this to me all the time. They will say, oh, you do that 21-day fix stuff, right? You know, or they may kind of sound negative about it. And, you know, I'll be totally laid back. You know, don't put on your suit and tie and start rattling off stuff. Be like, girl, you need to try that. You haven't done that yet? You know, and a lot of my girlfriends or even just acquaintances are like, well, no, I don't really know anything about it. That's okay. And then there's your cue. Go into it. I had a lady once in the grocery store after my launch post, which was in a bikini. Thank you. It was horrifying. And she said, well, aren't you all over Facebook these days? You know, and I'm in small town USA. It was really scary. And you mean this woman bought a challenge pack for me the next month, and when she sent me that message, I was about to die, you know, because I almost cowered in a corner because of what I did, but instead I owned it and had a good elevator pitch of, you need to do this with me. Do you want to know what it is? Or, you know, whatever it is. My point is, keep it casual and don't word vomit, because if you're in a conversation, nobody wants that no matter what you're talking about, right? They just want you to talk and be normal. And lastly, you want to create your brand and don't appeal to the masses. So I touched on this earlier, but you know, you want to, if someone comes to you with wanting information, you know, they're ready. They're ready to go. You know, even if they don't sign up right away, they're ready to go in their mind that they want to do this. And so you have to remember that, you know, you can't appeal to everybody. And if they do come to you, that's when you really hone in on that conversation and do your best elevator pitch that you can, but be genuine. And, you know, I've learned that so many people just need help with a new lifestyle. And if we can just be ourselves, then at the end of the day, everything else falls into place. You don't have to be an expert at Beachbody. I mean, Lord knows I'm not, but I do feel like I'm an expert at relationships. Not an expert. I'm good at relationships, because if you're good at relationships, you'll do amazing in this business. So anyway, that's basically my spiel.
All right. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I've got my whole Evernote thing all full.
I'm sorry I talk so fast. I was trying to hit an hour.
No, that's fine. I've learned to type really fast. So does anybody have any questions? I know, you know, it is a little late for us, but you know what? I think we got a ton of awesome value here. So Dan, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say first, Angela, thank you so much. I do believe that you provided a ton of value tonight. And some of the biggest things I took away is that this is about relationships. It's about caring about other people, and it's about, you know, integrity and being genuine in all of this and wanting to help others. And that's where this business has to stem. I'm going to ask the obvious question. I'm a big guy on Success Club points too. Those things like own me sometimes. You had 111 in 1 month. What month was that? What was the program, and what was the big push for you that month? They got 111.
It was February of last year. So I launched in January.
21-day fix, huh?
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I do is 21-day fix. I mean, I have a few random ones in there, but my launch month I did about 65, and then February was 111, and then the next month was 99. Those were my big 3 months where I came out of the box and people were like, "Let's go, I'm ready."
Yeah.
And then it dipped and went up and down throughout the year, but it's back strong again this month. January wasn't as big as I thought it would be, and then it's going back up in February. So I think seeing my year now that I finally have 12 consecutive months as a coach, it's really interesting because February was a big month last year, and it's going to be good this year too.
Yeah, I've noticed that trend too. February seems to be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I've never come anywhere near 111. I'll be honest that. But I think it was February of last year, 2 years ago. It was 21-day fix. It was up around 45. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Dan,
and that's in my business and my wife's. I was only 31.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I know. But I heard you said you build your husband's too.
Oh, so. Yeah, I don't really. He has 2 points this month. I didn't do very good under him this month. Yeah. I just opened a second business center. Like, I'm a 2-star diamond. I'm trying to get to 3 stars. So I'm learning all sorts of things that I should have known before, but I was concentrating on Success Club. So there you go.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate you being on the call tonight.
Sure, Dan. Thank you. Makes me happy.
Anybody else have any questions? No?
Y'all are ready for bed.
Yeah, they are. It's everyone's like,
I would be. I'd be like, bye, I'm going to bed.
I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, everything that you've shared, it was just like Courtney said, you don't hold back, and just your enthusiasm, and you just like transmitted all that positive vibe to us, and I just love it. I love your attitude. I love how you shared everything with us, and I cannot be any more thankful for you.
You're sweet.
Oh, thanks.
You're so welcome.
But yeah, and thank you for mentoring this beautiful lady.
Oh, Courtney's the best.
Hey,
if she comes
John,
up with this crazy idea, I'd be like, were you talking to Angela?
John, did you have a question? You raised your...
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
You can hear me?
Yes.
John?
Okay, cool. I don't know, like, I don't want to say that I'm bummed out, but I've been a coach for like, I don't know, 3 weeks now maybe. And I'm trying to get these guys in the Navy that I work with to sign up as coaches. I think that maybe that's where I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're just scared to sign up as a coach. They haven't even done any of the workouts. So I think I'm just going to try to go for challenge packs instead.
Yeah.
And I had some lady come up to me and ask me about 21-day fix today. So I referred her to Beth because, she's so good with the 21-day fix, and I'm just so new to this. I haven't really even done that program. So I think Beth will be a great coach for her. So hopefully I can talk to her about that some more tomorrow. And my wife is hosting an Arbonne party for her girlfriend. So I know Arbonne. They're an imposter or a competitor or whatever, but I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to pitch 21-day fix to them. So, we'll see.
You could stand up in their party, John, and be like, all right.
Yeah, they could put Arbonne on my face, whatever. I don't care. As long as they let me tell them about 21-day fix. Yeah, Noel said we could put the workout on in the background on the TV.
You could be doing it in the background, John. That would be the thing to do.
Yeah.
Now,